Keep looking.
Oh, you're going too slow. Let me take the wheel.
It's too fast. How could he even tell what's on?
I can tell. Too late. I'm in the 40s. Gotta go around the horn. It's faster.
I look for the giant chicken!
Now, Edge.
Hello. We are back for another episode of the Power Shut Up podcast. I want to thank you all, as I do every week, but I'm sorry, y'all just going to have to hear it. I really, truly appreciate everyone who takes a little bit of time out of their day to tune in and see what we're talking about, because really life is about communication and, good communication. Of course, in life, we experience bad communication as well, but we're here to kind of, set the record straight that we are willing. Hopefully all my guests are willing to set those egos aside and burn those petty files. And let's start to talk about how we can communicate better with each other. So every week we come here, we bring a guest on, we talk about them, find out who they are, and then we have a little fun with the power of shut up. So it's all about empowering, inspiring, and just enlightening people. So you'll get some new knowledge here. We'll have some fun here. We'll talk about some funny things, good things, bad things, but it's all going to be in a positive light. It's positive vibes over here. So I first wanted to say happy birthday to anyone who's celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday to you. I don't just keep it with the toys. Y'all know my birthday is in April and we go all out. But I do want to say happy birthday because I'm a celebrator at heart. I also wanted to say happy anniversary to anyone who's celebrating an anniversary. I am all about love. And I wanted to send a special shout out to my daughter. So for those who don't know, and that are new to the show, my daughter and her husband just celebrated their first anniversary on September 17th. Last weekend. So we had my grandson. So those who know, I love my Cam. But we had him because they went to New York to celebrate their first anniversary. So congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, my daughter and son-in-law. They had a great time, they said, and they're headed out again this weekend. So Cam will be visiting again this weekend. I think that there's there's a little pattern going on here. But anyway, happy anniversary to all of you celebrating love, and congratulations. Congratulations to everyone who's started a new class, started a new job, accomplished something new, opened a new business, whatever it is that you're out there doing, living your best life, and pushing through. Congratulations to you. So I wanted to shout out a few things that are going on this week. Just to highlight you, because I'm involved in a couple of projects I'm really excited about. The first one I want to talk about is because we had her on the show last week, I believe, Gail Crowder, sexpert marriage therapist, came on the show, and we had some good conversation about men and women and relationships and about her show. But what she did mention was that she has we have a casting call that's coming up on Saturday, 10 to 4, and it's for the Dr. Gail on Love, Sex, and Marriage show. So if you are a couple and you're interested in coming out, we're looking for some couples to cast on the show. I'm part of the production team, and we're looking for couples who want to kind of share some things that they're going through in certain areas of their marriage, that will help many couples around the world to, get through. She is really about marriage. We want to slow down that rate of that high divorce rate that's going on and get back into pouring into our marriages. And it takes work, and Dr. Gail is putting in the work. So please, if your husband is brave enough, you can handle the truth, come on out and join us. I think it'll be a fun experience. So we did get a couple of people to reach out after last week's show, as a matter of fact, and signed up to join us on Saturday. So yeah, please, we're going to keep pushing it. Check out my page, The Power Shut Up, and my regular Lisa Dove Washington Facebook page, and my TikTok. I do want to encourage everybody to please go over to my TikTok page. I accidentally have more than a couple of pages because I don't know what I'm doing all the time when I go over there. But either page you go to, you will be able to check out the Power Shut Up, Lisa, find out what's going on. But go over and check out the Power Shut Up podcast TikTok page, or my Lisa Dove Washington page. I think it's I Am Lisa. And check out what's going on. You'll also get clips from all of the shows, including tonight. So yeah, check us out. Please go over there, like, share with your family. And as a matter of fact, right now, you don't have to move, but please go out and share this with your friends, your family, people who believe in good communication, really lifts up the community. If you believe in that, then please share this with some family and friends. We over here talking good stuff, and we're not just talking about it, we doing something about it.
That's right.
There's one other event. So that was the casting call. And I did want to mention that Gail is having a conference that she does every year called Bringing the Sexy Back to the Marriage. And the theme is the battlefield for marriage. This is about love, lust, and passion. She brings wives out every year. We have a weekend where we talk about all issues related to our marriage. It's a very open forum where we can really get down to the nitty gritty, and get a game plan. And we also have a lot of fun. And it's all about the why. I know sometimes we got plenty of things to say about what our husbands ain't doing, but when we go for this weekend, this is really a check on us. So even if you can say, well, my husband don't do this, that's not what this weekend is for. This weekend is for, okay, but this is what you need to do. And I love that that's what Dr. Gail does. So please come check her out January, so you'll know what the show is all about. It's going to be definitely connected to that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I am already registered. And I will share that last week, hello Michelle, thank you for tuning in. Last week we had some a wife join the BSB, so she actually has already registered as well. So yes, wives, please come out and check out Bringing the Sexy Back to the Marriage. It is nothing wrong, and every year with kind of enhancing and seeing if you can put a little fire and spice back into your marriage. So check it. Hello, Tamika. Thank you for joining. Please, you all continue to share this with family and friends. And now, without further ado, she's really home. Even though she's a guest for this evening, she has been on the Luncheon with Lisa show. She has been through Dove Style Magazine exclusives. I mean, our guest that's coming up has been with us, so it's kind of like, we're not going to the refrigerator to serve her anything. She can go over there and get it herself. She is right at home. But I wanted to welcome Victoria M. Holland to the Power of Shut Up podcast. And let me tell you a little bit about Victoria before she tells us even more about herself. So Victoria is, and I'm not going to tell you everything, but just to give you a little bit, she is the hostess of Uncensored Conversation with Elevated Not Tolerated podcast, The Coaches on Parade, and Moments with Elevated Not Tolerated Live. She's also an author. She has some books. She has Diva in Position, Going Through the Storm. She's a co-author of Silhouettes of Strategies from Authentic Coaches for Mind, Body, and Soul. And I think Michelle Bolden-Hammond is here. She did that project with her. She's also a co-author of Owning Your Own Uniqueness, Your Voice Matters. And she's been featured, a featured contributor in the Boss magazine, Elevated Not Tolerated. Victoria has been doing this for a long time. She hosts workshops. She does lives. And her mission is to provide a safe, non-judgmental environment to express concerns, seek direction, offer assistance and resources to move forward in life. And she's all about empowering, embracing, and educating others. So Victoria, welcome to the Power Shut Up podcast.
Lisa, it's an amazing opportunity to come back home, as you said, and to be on the Power of Shut Up podcast. I am so super excited for you and what you're doing with this program. As I told you 3 years ago, it is so much bigger than you. and you have not only withstood all of the storms, but you've shined. And I thank you for my second Bible. As I tell you, the Power Shut Up, guys. If y'all have not purchased your 10 copies, I need you to go out there and do so today, because I have 2 copies, and one is my second Bible, and the other one is where I kind of mark some things in it. So I don't know, Lisa, I might need another copy. I don't know.
I got you. I got you always. And I wanted to welcome, thank you, Carrie, Tamika, Michelle, for tuning in, and I'm hoping others will join in. Michelle said 50 copies. I know that's right. That's my girl right there. It's all love up in this room.
Yeah.
And for you all that don't know, because I'm sure you'll see her soon here, but Michelle Bolden Hammond also has a podcast doing some amazing things, and she's talented in many areas. I couldn't begin to share the whole list, but you will definitely be seeing Michelle again soon. Now, what I wanted to do before we let Victoria kind of share some new things that she has going on, some new products and things like that. Yeah, she plays humble, but she has a lot going on. She stays busy. But we're going to actually kind of just share this little video clip to tell you a little bit about Victoria. We'll be right back.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Video. That's Victoria's video, but I thought it was perfect. That's a perfect introduction. As you can see, Victoria is busy. Okay, so don't let her fool you into thinking that, oh, it's just a little something. There was a whole lot going on, so she stays busy, encouraging and elevating, because elevating others is work. And she's here for it, and we are here with her to watch her and encourage her as she does what she does. So that was a little taste of what Victoria has been doing on her weekdays, weekends, whatever. But Victoria, in her own words, is going to share with you some of the wonderful things that she's been doing. So Victoria, I really wanted to, that was just to kind of introduce you and pull you in. She wasn't expecting that, so that's why she's a little taken aback. But I'm giving her credit for that. She did that herself, but I thought it was perfect. And Shariva, I said, Shariva, this looks good. If Shariva made it happen, believe me, Shariva back there doing some things in the last 5 minutes. I think she wrote out quite a few things. But Victoria, welcome, like I said. But tell us a little bit about who Victoria M. Holland is, and what Elevated Not Tolerated is all about, because I introduced you, even in my promo, was the Elevated Motivator. So tell us a little bit about what that means.
Well, right now she's speechless, because I wasn't expecting that. I really was. I thought you was going to show some more of the, Toy Story. That was like what I was looking for. Yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Anybody else could have showed that video and it probably wouldn't have fazed me one bit, but you showing it means a lot. Yeah, I got it. There's a story behind the story. But anyway, what is Victoria Elevates and who is Victoria Holland? I am that chick who's going to take you to that next level. There's so many of us that have gone through, we all have stories. We all have those trials and tribulations. But one thing about Victoria Elevates and who I am is I want to make you understand that you don't have to tolerate any circumstance that you're going through. Nothing that you are going through or have been through is going to sabotage who you are right now. My job, my mission, my passion is to elevate you to that next place. Put aside all those stuff. Go to the tap room. Find out who you are, why you are, and how you got where you are. And let's take you to that next level. I could tell you many stories, and Lisa knows probably about 90% of them already. But I could tell you many stories. But the story that I can tell you the most is, if you've been through some things, I guarantee you I've been through them too. It's not what you're going through, it's how you deal with it and what you take to the next level. Because everything that you go through is an opportunity to increase and elevate you to that next level. Think about putting yourself in that elevator and it's all you by yourself, and push that top button. If it's the 14th floor where Lisa was in Las Vegas, maybe push that 14th floor button and let's go to the next level. That's who Elevated Not Tolerated is. That's who I am. Elevated Not Tolerated is my story. It's my life. If it wasn't for some people talking to me and saying, baby, you're not going to tolerate this any longer. You're not going to tolerate domestic violence. You're not going to tolerate homelessness. You're not going to tolerate being pushed to the side. You're not going to tolerate any of this ish. You're just going to get to the next level. And so that's what Victoria Elevates about. And that's who I am. It's time for you to be empowered, embraced, and educated to be elevated and not tolerated.
And look, so, I mean, really, that could be it right there. I mean, she's really told you exactly what Elevated Not Tolerated is all about. But I do know that people can resonate with that, because we run into situations in life where, and I think we all have tolerated things that we didn't deserve, shouldn't have been that way. But it's a blessing to have someone who's in the lane of encouraging you through those moments, because, you know, we tolerate a lot of stuff that we don't have no business tolerating at all. And it can cause stress. It can cause anxiety, all of the above. And we do need that person to kind of coach us through, and let us know that you don't have to lose it. Because some of us are getting through that frustration by hollering and screaming and going off, and that ain't working either, and it really doesn't help. But Victoria is holding courses for people. So I really want you, Victoria, to share some of the classes that you hold, some of the workshops that you do, and what people are learning in those workshops.
Awesome. And Lisa, you tapped into it. You know, we all go through things, but who's helping us pull us out of it, you know? And so one of the things that makes some of my programs unique, because everybody's program is unique. How about that? You know, a good friend of mine shared with me, and I'm going to pass it to you, Lisa. You know, people say you're an expert in motivating. Well, let me just tell you that everybody's an expert. Lisa, you're an expert in communication and telling people how to power up and shut up. So you're an expert in it, you know, because you've taken the trials, we've taken the sections out of our life, and we've studied it. We've reevaluated it. We looked at the process. We've, you know, done all of the homework. And what makes us an expert is that now we can take that same energy and that same information, and we can process it to help somebody else not to stay in that stuck in the mud, right? So one of the things that Victoria Elevates is known for is our positive self-building course. It's made up of 12 different classes. You can take them in the order that they come, or you can take them individually. We talk about anything from self-worth to self-confidence, self-motivation. But what my students come out of the class with, and you know, some of my students out there, you got homework, don't forget. But what do we do is it's a non-traditional form of studying. You know, everybody says, you know, let's get into self-care. Okay, well, how do you do in self-care? What caused you to be at the point that you don't have self-care? You know, I share with you some things before the show, but how do you take that and maneuver it to another level? Well, with the positive self-building course, there's a couple of things that we talk about. And one of those things is going to the tap root of when something started to change. When did you stop feeling confident? When did you stop having that self-worth? Because when you find the root to it, then you can dig it out, move all of the trash out from around it, and start processing a new plan of action of getting out. And one of the ways we do that is through what we call the 3S theory. And that's silence for strategic plan for you to show up. But you have to get to a place where you're quiet. You have to get to a place where you can hear the strategy that you need to build on and have somebody to help you get to that place. Because at the next level is for you to show up. So with the positive self-building course, we go to that specific route and we say, let's get silent with it. Mm-hmm. Let's find out what your plan is, because nobody's plan is the same way. And then, are you ready now to show up? So we take you through that journey. That's what we do with the positive self-building course. We take you on a journey with each one of those classes. We use different methods to do it, but the 3S is one that we use with all of the other classes. And finding the root is another way. That goes with every class, because I can't help you. You can't help me if you're not finding your root, right? Mm-hmm. The positive self-building class, it goes for 7 weeks. Sometimes we roll over to 8 or 9 weeks, depending on how we get in depth with it. Students come out with their own handbook. They come out with 3 live coaching sessions by themselves. They get an opportunity to participate in our other programs. The positive self-building course is just that. We're going to build you positively. My students will know this. I'm going to rip up your Band-Aid and I'm pouring alcohol in your wound. And I'm going to make you come back to another level of realization, right? So that's what we do with that. The Elevate Not Tolerated coaching portion of it is where I do take you individually and we build a plan for you. Mm-hmm. The 2 pieces together will be a support system. The group of the positive building course is your support system from your other classmates. Okay. But the individualized is the actual Elevated Not Tolerated coaching section of it, where we spend however long it takes to build a reliable, smart elevation plan for you. By the time you leave, you're going to have homework on both sides. There's not a person that's come through any one of my programs that can't tell you, I'll give you homework. That's is. Right. Because I can tell you, Lisa, we can tell these guys all day long what to do. But if you don't take, if you don't take an interest and a commitment into your process, you're not going to go anywhere.
That's right.
That's how those 2 components go together. The workshops, all I can say is, if you haven't seen the Favorite Spur Conference, I don't know where you've been.
Yes.
Washington has been a part of that. Michelle B. Hammond's been a part of that. We bring these phenomenal people together and we tell you that favor is spur. Forget the gimmicks, forget all of that garbage. Favor ain't fair. Yes, it is, because favor is a gift. Favor is a gift that's been given to you by God for you to utilize it the way that you need to utilize it. But I bring these people like Lisa Washington on there and they talk about the favor. We've had so much fun at the Favor Spur Conference. We've left with some teary eyes and all of that.
Yes, indeed.
We still had some. We paid some positive feedback. We're bringing it back in 2024. We didn't do it in 23. We took a break from that, but we're coming back in 24. So stay tuned. Lisa's gonna be with us, y'all. I'm promising you. Oh, with us. Michelle B. Hammond gonna be with us, y'all.
Yes, indeed.
But it's a part of it's a part of keeping people elevated. I don't want people to ever leave anything that I do and not know that they're appreciated, they're loved, and we're rising them to the next level. But it has to go through a process. Right. And we roll over to the motivator. That's the speaker. That's the motivational speaker. I'll come to you. You tell me what your topic is, and I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm sorry. Okay.
She sings too. So look, let me tell you, because Victoria, for those who don't know, the Power Shut Up, this is a new podcast, but it's not a new concept for me. The book that I wrote, The Power Shut Up, was written back in 2019, and it has been growing ever since. And it did move into a symposium. So 3 years straight, I have had a Power Shut Up symposium, and Victoria has blessed the stage in person for the first time this year. But we did this virtually, kicked it off in the middle of, I think, COVID pretty much. But I had a host of panelists who came out, and we talked about the Power Shut Up on your job, in your family, in every aspect of life, with your children, with your elderly parents. That communication is a part of life, period. There's no place in life that you can go, nothing you can do where there's not some form of communication, whether it's, you know, verbally or non-verbally, that you have to be a part of. So there's no way that somebody can say, oh, well, yeah, I don't have to deal with that. If you speaking to somebody or you communicating with somebody, then this is where you need to be as far as understanding how to communicate better. And we're all out here trying to do that. But Victoria was one of the speakers on my panel. And she has been, I think, every year, if I'm not mistaken. And this year was the first year we did it in person. So when you say motivate, everyone on that panel, it has motivated me in so many ways on how to just be a better person and to verbally be able to do that, or even non-verbally. So when she says she putting in the work, whether it's a workshop, a class, she's speaking, she does some amazing programs. She mentioned a couple, she's even done a couple of events that were truly focused, and I wanted you to mention them. I don't know if you did one last year, I think, but it was specifically towards the men. Can you remind us a little bit about what that was about?
It's the men of favor. You know, a lot of times we have conferences and conventions, and the poor little guys that get left out. You know, they're the doorkeepers. They're the lifting the heavy stuff. But in 22, it was on me that it's something needed to be uplifted with the men. Mm-hmm. So we brought in 8 men. We called it Men of Valor. These guys came in. They talked about relationship. They talked about business. They talked about their hurts. They talked about where they were going and how they got there. It was one of the most, and I'm getting chills, it was one of the most inspiring conferences that not only was I hosting, but I had a part of hearing these men speak from their hearts, right? Mm-hmm. It was, from what I understood, I don't know, but they said this was one of the first time a woman had came in and brought all these many men across the globe. I don't know. I'm not taking ownership to that. I'm going to tell you that I'm probably one of many women that saw men in need. And so in 24, we're bringing it back, but we're going to actually do it a 2-day. Okay. One that's going to be virtual, and the second part will be in person, because we want to actually bring men to the plate. They have a voice that needs to be heard. Absolutely. Men get pushed to the side. And so there's 3 men that are coming back to the podium in 24, and they're already pumping. They're already throwing stuff at me. Hey, can I do this? Can we do this? And I'm like, I'm just a hostess.
I love it.
Yeah, they're back in 24.
And it was much needed. When I remember when you mentioned something about doing it, I thought that is absolutely fabulous, because you're right. Women sometimes, and I'm not saying all the times, but most of the time you see women doing these kind of things to encourage themselves, to uplift themselves, to level up, as you say. And the men are, and I laugh when you said that, because I'm thinking about the times that I've prepared for an event, the symposium to be one of those, and being part of a social club years back for 15 years straight, and my husband was there to help get the sodas in and get the bring the bags in, and he was like, I'm not a part of Soulful Sisters, and I was like, that's not the point. I need you a soulful brother. Let's do this. But yeah, a lot of times they're there supporting us, but we don't hear them. We see them. They're in the background, and they're happy with doing that sometimes, but there's some men who are good with that space in the front, where they'll say, hey, we have some things that we want to share with you all. And the fact that you were a woman who wanted to give them that platform speaks volumes. And that's one of the many events that you have done. There's 2 more that I want to bring up. One's a workshop class, and one's a event you did years ago that we both were on, and it was in regards to conspiracy. What was the name of it?
Oh gosh, don't y'all hate me. Look, it's been, y'all gotta remember, I had
it was
conspiracy versus
collaboration,
because, well, Actually, it was collaboration versus conspiracy.
Right.
Okay, so y'all got to remember, I still have the fog.
I was like, I was there, but you know what we mean.
Yeah, and actually, we were gonna bring it back in 23. But some of the people that we wanted to bring back, we lost contact with. Just life. Let's just put it that way. Life happens. So we want to bring it back, and it's kind of interesting that you bring that one up because we have set a date.
Oh.
And so I'm going to be sending out that message to all of the ones that were on that conference because collaboration is collaboration. I get a kick out of just sitting in the room with Lisa Dove Washington Empire. That's what I call it. Because it's never been a pull or a tug. It's always been, what can I do to help you? Even when I started doing the different things on my podcast, is because you suggested it. Have you tried this? Won't you do this? It's when you put people together with the right intentions, you can build an empire. We always use that cliche, and I'm starting to stop using cliches as much as I can. But we always say, the teamwork makes the dream work. It's true if your intentions are the same. Now, if your intentions are off, then you're talking about the conspiracy guy, right? But we brought to the table different people, Lisa, different people. The list was like 12 of you guys on the panel. And I was lucky enough to get 6 women and 6 men, which that was the challenge, y'all, because women handle challenges different from men.
Absolutely.
But what was unique was when they all got to the table, everybody agreed that, conspiracy does happen. And I was like, what? The men know about that? Because I thought they were going to come in and stop clucking, you chickens. Let's get that's what I was expecting. But we had a round table experience of all of the men even, giving examples of how they had been mishandled through false collaborations. And it was absolutely amazing. So we're going to bring that back in July and August.
Okay.
24. I kind of try to stay away from April. Because something happens, man.
April is a special month.
Them special month of April. So I kind of stay away from April from planning. But so we're looking at July, August. We're going to bring the conspiracy versus collaboration versus conspiracy. But this time we want to kind of do it a different way. Hint, hint. We're going to do it a different way. We're going to bring some little special notations to this little deal. And what I'm going to do this year, I give you a heads up, Lisa. What I'm going to do this year is I'm going to send each one of the panelists a list of things. Mm-hmm. But the things are not going to be the same for each one of you. They're going to be different. And this year, you're going to be able to tell me, looking at Sally sitting beside you, how can you collaborate with Sally based on what your point is that's in your card?
Oh, I love that.
So
I love it.
So it's going to be a whole nother conversation. It's going to be a whole nother conversation piece. So get ready, Lisa, Michelle.
I'm looking forward to it. And I want to thank you because, to me, this couldn't be more timing when you think about, it's just important that we really understand the difference between collaboration and that you're going to run into the conspiracy part of this. There are going to be people out here that do not have your best interest at heart. They're going to be people out here that make mistakes and they do have your best interest at heart. We have to be in a position where we can recognize what that is. And the other part that we kind of talked about before we went live was that we can't do this by ourselves. We really can't. Collaboration is absolutely necessary in all of these things. We talked about Shariba. I know I mentioned her all the time because I couldn't do this without her. Yeah. It's a blessing to have somebody who not only is there to help you, but they get the vision. So it's not just Lisa's mind behind this. Shariba, and the fact that she's a millennial, I'm proud of that because it does show too that generations can work together because, sometimes y'all millennials be challenging us. Y'all know we love y'all though. But no, her mind works in the energy she has. and the way her mind moves, sometimes I'm like, slow down, because I can't catch up. Hello, Martha. Thank you for tuning in. But I love it because she can kind of catch me in places where it's like, okay, you real old school right now. I need you to catch up because they ain't doing that no more, Lisa. And there are other things where, she might say, okay, is that what they were doing? And we seem to be able to just click. And we should be doing more of that. We should be collaborating with the youth. I know that's what the event this weekend, this past weekend that I hosted with Prince DeJour, it was about, history and bridging the gap between generations and synergy. Even to the point where we didn't have any conversations about what to wear, but we both walked in black and white. And I was like,
I love it. I love it.
Happen. But it's about collaborating with others, working together for the good of whatever the cause is. If we're both trying to meet the same goal, which is to uplift the community or do good by others, then why not work together to do it? I mean, the more the merrier, right?
That's right.
So I thank you, Victoria, for all the things that you do to not just pour into women, but also pour into the men. Is one other thing that I want to mention, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the power shut up and maybe some scenarios that we've been in where we were challenged and things that we learned about communication. But there was one other that is my favorite that you have talked about, and I have a couple, but I think she knows what I'm going to say, but she did I think it was a workshop or a class, can't remember. We talked about it. And actually you did an event with that, I believe, but it was called Beauty and the Beast? Beauty or the Beast. Beauty or the Beast. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, y'all I'll share a little bit afterwards, but tell us a little bit about Beauty or the Beast.
Well, Beauty or the Beast came out of my class of self-worth. As I said, I use different things, and my students that are out there, y'all know, if y'all haven't watched Beauty and the Beast by Saturday, anywho, see, because that's we're teaching self-worth right now. We're finishing up that course. But Beauty and the Beast is a part of the self-worth class that we teach in the positive self-building course. But the concept of itself is that, we think that we're one or the other. In actuality, we're both. It is the beauty that's inside of you that has not evolved, and the beast is what you see. But you can be the beast now, because Lisa gonna teach y'all how to communicate.
Don't we know?
You're gonna communicate now. However, you have to understand how these two pieces actually come together and form a unity of who you are. Beauty and the Beast, the workshop, I wanted to target people to understand that where you're pointing fingers at each other, you have a look. How many of y'all gonna say y'all don't throw shade? You're lying because you do. Anywho, that's your beast mentality with a little beauty attached to it. That's all it is. And then sometimes, Lisa, people think that when I first started teaching that as a part of the class, I was throwing out people's name like Belle, and they said, "Who is Belle?" I said, that's Beauty's real name is Belle. People didn't know that because you watch the movie, you never hear, you hear past that, all you hear is beauty. What do you really see in a person? Do you see the journey that they're taking? The Beauty and the Beast portion of the workshop and the class is for you to see the journey that Beauty and Adam, who is the beast, actually took, right? But when you get to that point of when they're in the castle, their lives change because the space that they were in is now evolving in another area. And the things that's on the inside of them start to come out. Because if you look at, my students can tell you, if you watch the movie, you're going to see a form of Belle, Miss Beauty, herself, transform into a beast. She takes on this strong will, and I'm going to break through the barriers. But she didn't have that opportunity as she was on her journey. So Beauty and the Beast, I had to take people to another level of understanding. You can be the most charming demon in the world. Notice I said you're charming demon in the world. But you can be beautiful.
How about that?
Still, you are hard, you're cold-blooded, you have no but you look like the angel.
That part.
Look, y'all see this angel? I look
That
like
part.
the angel, but there's a side of me that some of y'all know I call Mahalia, because that's my middle name, Mahalia. My mama named it right. That's all I can say. But there's a side of me that I can be strong and I can be fierce, but still a teddy bear on the inside. Because Beast really wasn't that bad, guys. He was just a big teddy bear that needed to be cuddled. So are we looking at everybody from the power of shut up standard where you need to be quiet sometime and look at this person on a different level? Have you communicated? Have you listened to the lessons that Lisa's taught us about communication? And have you taken the time to listen to someone's life and how they got there? So Beauty and the Beast takes in, let's put these two people, these two beings together, and let's create something great. Because everybody knows the ending of the story. Beauty turns into this princess, and Beast turns into this hunk of a man. But guess what? He was still a beast on the inside.
Well, look, this is so. When Victoria shared Beauty and the Beast, I mean, I was like, oh my goodness. The message is so powerful. And even with what she just shared, the other part of Beauty and the Beast that I just went out, I think when she first shared it, I was like, oh my goodness, you know how, because let's be honest.
Yep.
There is two sides. Well, there's more than two sides to all of us, but we can show up either way, as the beauty, or we can show up as the beast. And we have all shown up in both. And sometimes it confuses people because it's like one half of you is beauty and beast, and they're like, okay, which one we were? But I think what I was fascinated with when you started talking about Beauty and the Beast was, I think a lot of times, and it's just something for people to think about, is this one challenged whether, I think a lot of times people think they're showing up in their beauty mode, in beauty. You think you showing up like that. That's what you see. That's what you feel. You boss chick, whatever, or the guys, you know, I'm this, I'm that, and the other. And what you don't realize is you're not really showing up in that beauty side. You showing up as a beast.
Exactly.
Yeah, you haven't looked in that mirror. So, you know, it made me think a lot of times when we showing up, we don't really know because we don't have control. We don't know that our regular flow is beast mode. And I'm not saying this in a good way. Sometimes what we're equating to beauty is not really what it is. And that's when this class that Victoria does is checking you, is making you think about how you showing up. Because we're possessed with both. I think sometimes we get it misconstrued. We thinking, you know, that because you got your makeup on and you got your face beat and all of that, that how else could I show up but as beauty? And that's not true.
That's true.
The most beautiful faces in the world can be just a beast to work with. So you need to check yourself. And then when it comes to guys, you think that you got your suit on, if that's outward, that has nothing to do with what's going on inside. So I was fascinated with that class and thought, now that right there, that's something to talk about and think about. It really did make me immediately when I heard it, and I thought, you know, how am I showing up?
Yep.
And do we make those adjustments when we really realize, oh, yes, I'm not showing up in my best light. I'm in beast mode, but you thought you weren't.
And then the thing too, Lisa, is, you know, if you look at people, if you see people one way, and then the moment that you don't see them that way, was it your perception that they were a beast?
That part.
Or was it your perception that they were a beauty? Because, you know, what is that other cliche, you know, if somebody show you who are the first time, you better believe it, that deal, you know, pretty much, you know, that's kind of true.
Yep.
Because even if we use the movie Beauty and the Beast itself, when they were going, well, my students laugh when I say, but as Beauty was tiptoeing through the tulips going to the library. Everybody thought, in their perception of her, was that she thought she was better than everybody else. And it wasn't. This child had a dream that she was working towards, but your perception of her was that she thought she was better than everybody else.
Oh,
right. Okay.
So
sometimes it is your perception.
That's right.
And the beast in that person has to come out to show you, hey, I'm just working on me. I'm not being anybody different. I'm working on me. And then in the same token, you look at the surroundings of who you attach to, because that's going to change your personality. If you are sitting with Sally, who's quiet, are you going to be called? Are you going to out-talk Sally, or is Sally going to be quiet and you're both going to be quiet? It's the perception. And when you start pulling off those onion skins and start seeing the real you, when you understand that underneath all of that tough skin is just somebody trying to live their dream. They're just trying to be elevated and not tolerated. That's all.
There you go. Look at her connecting the dots. That's what I'm talking about. But no, Victoria, I'm telling you, that's one of those, and I'm not gonna let her give you any more, because at the end of this, we're gonna she's gonna let you know how you can get in touch with her and sign up for her classes. But I'm telling you, that one right there touch me in a way, because I do like what you just said. It's all about perspective. Sometimes while we busy saying you showing up wrong, no, it's just the way you looking at me, boo. It's just the way you looking. You need to check your glasses. Your prescription is off.
Hello.
Okay, so I love what you're doing. So we're gonna shift this a little bit, because she actually has tied this into the Power Shut Up because I think she's incorporated some of that as we've met and talked. But people are doing the Power Shut Up all day. They just sometimes didn't know what to call it, what to name it. But Victoria, I'd like to challenge my guests. I did this with Gail last week, and talk about a scenario where you were challenged with deciding, because and as we do the show, I will start to break down, intentions and all these things that you need to think about, before you decide where, when, who, and even if. These are all things that we learned in elementary school when we were doing English, and I was an English major, so y'all, I'm having a moment. But all of those things apply to the Power Shut Up. So you need to, where you're having this conversation matters. Who you having it with matters. When you have it definitely matters. And the biggest question is if. So do I actually say this, or do I exercise my power shut up? So before we tell them where they can connect with you and get enrolled in your classes and things like that, tell me an incident connected to the Power Shut Up where you were challenged and you had to make a decision on one of those levels. Where do I say something, or whatever that may be? Tell us about an incident where you feel like that you had to learn how to exercise your power shut up. Because I really want to present a situation, and then as we have these talks every week, solution. How I got through this, just tips that would help people to get through something similar. So what you got?
Well, I can. So is this before I got my second Bible, or is this to be after I got?
Oh, I tell you what. Let's make it interesting.
Let's
say that it was before, but what did you gain that would have changed the way you handled that situation?
Hey, I like that. That's the before and after, y'all.
Yeah.
I wish I had a picture to show you. Check this out. Before being associated with you and your vision with the Power Shut Up, I can think of a time that and that's the reason why I'm writing the second book is being out there now, is about people pleasing. Because at one point in my life, before the Power Shut Up, I was bottled up. I was self-sabotaging who I was. And sometimes I spoke out of turn because I wanted to fit in. And there was times that I had to be heard. I just got to be heard. I'm standing here beside Lisa. Can't you hear me? I was at that place. And sometimes those situations cost me friendships.
Okay.
They cost me opportunities, and they cost me inner peace. It cost me that peace level. But I remember when you first started telling me about the power shut up, I was like, I know she ain't trying to tell me to shut up. and then you went through how Gail, and I was like, well, that ain't me. Right? That ain't me. I ain't got your problem, girl. I speak my mind. What you talking about? And I was reading the book, and I'm like, wait a minute. There is a time that I can be quiet. I can be in a room, and I don't have to be heard. I can listen to what's going on. The power shut up has caused me in coaching to be more attentive listening. We teach that as, what I teach it in the academy, as a coach, you need to be able to listen and hear what your client is saying. But sometimes you in la la land because you're thinking the client is just wasting your time, right? Or they're not giving you the truth. But after reading the book and after even the live symposium, I came back with a different, thought pattern. Wait a minute, let me do it this way. Let me just sit back and observe. I brought this up in my church meeting the other night. See, it's your fault. I got in trouble at church. I said, sometimes you just need to put everything on the table, and then sometimes you just need to be quiet.
How about that?
But that came from the experience of the times in my life prior to reading the book, prior to hearing you, even when you talked to me personally about stuff in my life, because you said you didn't have to look big. That happened to you, but don't let that keep making you, right? And she knows what I'm talking about. She if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have picked up the pen again. Because this is the thing. Being so quick to open your mouth isn't the answer.
Right.
Doing your homework, sitting back and watching things happen is sometimes the better answer. The Power of Shut Up book showed me that. Slow to speak. Whoever.
I'm telling you, she the bomb.com. Yes, she is.
Look, who needs A1 when we got you? Is that what you call it? A1? Whatever it is. That thing. Anywho, who needs that when we got
A1 since day one, yeah.
Okay. Well, who needs them folks when we got Sharika? But at the end of the day, it made, because I'm a certified master mindset coach as well, but it took me changing even how I looked at that. Your knowledge doesn't mean you're the smartest kid on the block. It just means that you studied more. That's all that means. All these certificates on the wall mean nothing to me, other than they make my wall look pretty. And I'm very proud of them.
That's right, as you should be.
However, if I asked either one of these certificates a question, could they give me an honest answer and say, be quiet now? But reading your book and being a part of the Power of Shut Up, it's like it takes you to a place that transitions your mind to a different way of thinking. How can I get my point across without being obnoxious, without being rude? And being the kid who always felt like she had to fight her way through because of being bullied in my younger life, and being pushed to the side in my younger life, and being through domestic violence, I was always, you got to hear what I got to say. But the Power Shut Up helped me. Wait a minute. You got a product. You got a service. You got emotions. You don't have to blah, 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 blah all the time. Right. Just do what you do and do it well. And where that took me is from being self-sabotager to self-empowerment.
Wow.
So that's the reason why as collaborators, we enhance. It's like a marriage. You married your wonderful husband, and you guys may be on two different sides of the planet, but together y'all make a world, right? But it's the enhancement of the other person. And so now I look at people, what are you enhancing me to do? Are you bringing out the nasty, or you bringing out the cool?
The beast. Are you bringing out the beauty, or you bringing out the beast?
You better.
It's all a collaboration. It's all a work.
And
we're works in progress. So I absolutely appreciate you, Victoria, because you kind of brought that full circle. Look, you passed I don't have no classes yet, no workshops yet, but you passed my class. But that was a perfect explanation of, a situation where you saw a challenge and you were able to gain a better understanding of what you could do to change the situation to be a more positive experience. So that's exactly what the Power Shut Up is all about, because the goal is for understanding. So thank you so much, Victoria. Before we have our TikTok moment and say good night to everybody, Victoria, you know that you are welcome to this platform. Always. She shared a lot of information with us. As you can see, she's done a lot of things, but I want to make sure that Victoria shares with you where you can find her information on social media, her website, so that you can connect with her, get involved, check out what she's doing. This is if you want to be elevated, not just tolerated, if you want to be motivated to elevate, all of the above, Victoria is your woman. But Victoria, tell them how they can locate you.
Well, Sharifa's done it again. You can reach me at victoriamholland.com. You can go to any social media. You can put in Victoria Elevates and you'll see me pop up. Right now with the 2 books out there, you can look. You can find Stop Walking on Eggshells. That's the new ones getting ready to come out. The people pleasing breaking. We got that going out there. So any of the websites you can look for Victoria Elevates. But if you go to victoriamholland.com, I got you.
And what I'll be doing is, and I do this with all the guests. Good. Hey, Tina, thank you for tuning in. I will definitely be getting my hands on a couple of her books and products, so that for those who know me, I love to do giveaways on the show. So I will definitely have some of her products. But please go visit her website and get to know who Victoria is. That's what this is all about. It's collaboration. And it's us working together for the good of the bigger goal, which is to understand, appreciate, and support one another, and do it understanding that we don't always have to say a lot. Okay.
We don't.
I tell you who she is. She told you who she was. There you have it. It's done. It's a deal. Okay, now go out there and get them books and get in that class. But thank you all so much for tuning in. As usual, every Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. What we're going to do this week is we're going to bring back what we did with Luncheon with Lisa, where we have a TikTok moment. And I will encourage those who are on TikTok, if you have a powerful message and you got a quick TikTok moment that we can share on the show, I will be sharing those moments here and there on the Power Shut Up podcast. But for this evening, I wanted to share this TikTok moment, and then we will come back and say goodbye until next week. So here you go.
Can promise you that they will not hurt you. Sometimes what you experience is not betrayal. It's what Dr. Henry Cloud calls, honest inability. Sometimes the people you are in relationship with honestly don't have the ability to give you what you need to feel secure. They just don't have it. Would you ever get rid of a dog that couldn't fly? Would you ever get rid of a bird that couldn't bark? You see, sometimes our trust issues and trauma are based on the apparatus that we have expected something out of somebody that they never had to offer. And I need you to assess your life and find out, are you requiring something from somebody that they absolutely don't have the ability to deliver?
That's it.
And with that, there's nothing else I can say except thank you for tuning in this Thursday. Hope to see you next week and every Thursday. Please lock into my YouTube channel, Lisa Dove Washington, my Power Shut Up page on Facebook, and my Power Shut Up TikTok page. And I look forward to seeing you next week with another wonderful guest. So until next week, have a blessed weekend. We'll see you next week.